Content coach.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? What's up, man? This your boy Tanzion. We back again, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all heard what's going on, man. The latest news going on with your boy Pooh, Sheisty, Gucci, man. Now, we all heard these rumors maybe earlier this month, last month, or whatever, saying that Gucci Man got robbed by Pooh Shiesty, right? They say Gucci Man got robbed by Pooh Shiesty. And we all thought it was bullshit. Now it comes to light that this shit is actually true. What the fuck? It's actually true. This nigga Pooh Shiesty is off the goddamn chain. Now you know how some of these rappers be rapping and you don't know if they're a real gangster or not, if they just talking shit, you know what I mean, putting on for the cameras, you know what I mean, make believe they life and shit like that. Well, and I tell you, this nigga Pooh Shiesty ain't got no cap in his motherfucking rap. That's what the fuck I mean, cause this nigga been putting in work. And he living up to that name, Pooh Shiesty. The nigga Shiesty and a motherfucker. Straight up. M-Town. You know what I'm saying? Them boys getting down up there, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, man. But yeah, man, they said that the nigga then robbed Gucci Man and made this nigga sign a release form. Whew. I don't, I don't want to encourage the YNs and shit like that, but how fucking gangster is that? You trying to make a nigga sign a motherfucking release form? Put them things on him? Tell them nigga sign this or else? Oh man, that's wild, you know what I'm saying? But hey yo, they got some little footage on this shit, man. You know, we gonna check it out. We gonna check this shit out, man, with your boy. You know what I'm saying?
After their remarks, please identify yourself by your name and your media outlet when asking questions and confine the content of your questions to today's press conference. At the podium, joining Ryan Raybould and Jeremy Wright is Executive Assistant Chief of Police with the Dallas Police Department, Terrence Rhodes, Assistant U.S. Attorney Robert Weathers, Assistant U.S. Attorney Claire Demers, and Assistant U.S. Attorney and Violent Crimes Chief Jeremy Fugate, all of the Northern District of Texas.
Oh my God!
Good morning. I'm Ryan Raybould. I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas. Thank you for coming. This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon. The complaint alleges that on January 10th of this year, 3 music industry professionals for a scheduled business meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims. As alleged, once these 3 men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol.
Pow.
Tracked at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. One of the victims was actually choked by one of the defendants to the point of near unconsciousness. Lontrell Williams Jr. was on home confinement at the time of the offense, as alleged, for a prior firearms. Towards the end of his prison sentence, he had been granted home detention. Were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal kidnapping as charged in the complaint. And as described further in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims. The document outlines some of the evidence, just some, establishing the defendants' roles in the federal offense. This is as follows: electronic monitoring data placing Williams Jr. at the offense location, which would put him in violation of his home detention conditions. Cell phone records and license plate reader of multiple defendants from Memphis, Tennessee to Dallas. Rental car records confirming Williams Sr. rented a vehicle that was used by the group. Surveillance footage from the offense location, a nearby office supply store, and a hotel where several of the defendants stayed following the offense. Fingerprint evidence as well that was recovered from the crime scene, matching at least two of the defendants. Social media posts by defendants displaying what appears to be stolen property just in the days following the offense. Greyhound bus records confirming the travel of multiple defendants from Dallas to Memphis the day after the offense. The victims in this case came to Dallas to conduct legitimate business, and they were met with firearms and violence as a agent in charge.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Good morning in the Dallas area. And we remain committed to investigating violent crimes like these. No matter who you are, we will fight every day alongside our partners to make our communities safer. So, thank you.
And we have time for some questions. If you would just identify who you were with and your name would be helpful. Yes, sir.
Kevin Reese with WFAA.
Hi, Kevin.
It may be in the release that you're going to send us, but can you be more specific to who these victims are and a specific location of this studio that you were talking about?
I'll answer the last part first. Yes, it'll be in the complaint, and we're happy to get you a copy of that. It's now unsealed. It was off Dallas Parkway in Dallas, Texas, a music studio. That's what's identified in the complaint. As far as victims go, we won't get into, at this time, who the victims are or not.
Chase with the Dallas Morning News. Can you describe the injuries suffered by the three victims?
So one of the victims, and this is actually in the complaint, and we'll get you a copy as well, there's a photograph of the injury. It looks like there's some abrasions on the neck and arm.
Recording artist, Pooh Sheisty, except unlike this clip, what happened here was no music video. The footage shows a McLaren sports car, Mercedes Maybach, and another Mercedes pull into this East Bay Harbor Drive condo parking lot. Men from the vehicles eventually get out and meet, and then this. The man in the white shirt has a pistol. The man in the black sweatshirt has a longer gun, and at about the same time, they begin firing before retreating back to the Maybach. The fancy getaway cars speed off, and one of two victims then hobbles to the car.
Skyforce 836.
The victims ended up at Aventura Hospital with injuries. But back to the scene for a moment. Police say the famous rapper was in that McLaren.
If I shoot my gun, 300 shots.
Police and prosecutors say Pooh Sheisty was part of the group that ended up in this parking lot that October afternoon where the shots flew, and it happened right across the street from the police department and town hall here in Bay Harbor Islands, and days before an arrest.
The town of Bay Harbor Islands says you're wanted for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
He's also charged with armed robbery. Bay Harbor Police names one other for aggravated battery in their affidavit, saying the two left the state in a private jet. Police also using these Instagram photos showing Sheisty with an assault-style rifle and cash as part of their case. They say the shooting came as one of the victims tried selling high-end sneakers and marijuana.
Who, they got the right guy?
Sheldon Fox, 7 News.
Gucci Mane got robbed, bro. And I've allowed a lot of people to come in. Y'all know me and Seti really ain't been seen, whatever. I did not get this from him as well. Damn, Gucci. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't think Pooh Sheisty was dumb enough. But y'all, Pooh Sheisty is dumb enough.
In Cordova, at the scene in Cordova, our crews have seen FBI and TBI agents going in and out of that house. The Shelby County Assessor's website lists this house as being owned by Lontrell Williams. That is the name of both Pooh Sheisty and his father. The rap star is in a halfway house right now after being released from federal.
Around 1:50 p.m., 3 males later identified as Williams, Brown, and DeRosa arrived at the Landon Hotel, located on the 9700 East Bay Harbor Drive in Bay Harbor Island. Williams was driving a green McLaren, with Brown in the passenger seat. DeRosa was driving a black Mercedes Maybach. Williams had arranged to meet the victims at the location to purchase a pair of high-end athletic sneakers on Mary Jane. Williams had rented the McLaren from the victim. That's right. Victim number 1 was hoping to negotiate an extension of his vehicle rental as part of the transaction. During the transaction, Pooh Sheisty, Brown had brandished firearms and shot both victims. Specifically, Brown shot victim 1 in the hip and Pooh Sheisty shot victim 2 in the buttocks. The victims then drove to MD Urgent Care for medical assistance and were later transported to a Ventura hospital for further treatment. As part of the investigation, law enforcement reviewed video surveillance which depict Pooh Sheisty arriving at the hotel in the green McLaren, with Brown as the passenger and DeRosa driving in a black Maybach. Williams was wearing a yellow shirt and Brown was wearing a white t-shirt. DeRosa was wearing a purple hoodie. Shortly after Williams arrived at the hotel, victim 1 approached Williams and handed him a bag of Mary Jane. Victim 2 then approached and gave Williams a shopping bag. Williams opened the bag and removed a pair of athletic sneakers and began examining them. Victim 2 then walked around the McLaren and sat in the passenger seat where Brown had previously been sitting to collect payment from Pooh Sheisty. As victim 2 held one of the sneakers in hand, Pooh Sheisty pointed a Draco subcompact weapon at him and demanded that he leave the sneakers in the car. DeRosa stepped out the Maybach, approached victim 2 and attempted to take victim 2's jewelry from his persons. Moments later, as victim 2 attempted to stop DeRosa from stealing his jewelry, Pooh Sheisty shot victim 2 in the buttocks. Victim 2 then retreated towards the vehicle. Ultimately, DeRosa could not take the jewelry from victim's 2 person, but Pooh Sheisty maintained the sneakers without paying for them. Victim 2 operates a shoe sale business that involved the shipment of products in interstate commerce. Pooh Sheisty never paid either victim for the shoes or Mary Jane. Moments after Williams shot victim 2, Brown shot victim 1 in the hip. Video surveillance shows victim 1 fall to the ground in the area between the green McLaren and the victim's vehicle. Victim 1 then observed Williams point a Draco subcompact weapon at him and state in substance, quote, "Don't you try." Shortly after, Pooh Sheisty, DeRosa, and Brown returned to their respective vehicles and drove away. Williams never stepped out the driver's seat of the McLaren. The surveillance video captured a Louis Vuitton bag falling out the driver's seat of the McLaren as Pooh Sheisty drove away after the shooting. Law enforcement recovered the bag, which contained $40,912 in United States currency. The second time Pooh Sheisty had $40K took from him by the police. Pooh Sheisty publicly available Instagram account, Pooh Sheisty, contains photographs that depict him displaying several long rifles and a plethora of $100 bills before the robbery. One of the $100 bills from the picture displayed the full serial number on the bill, which police had identified and recovered on one of the $100 bills that was found in a Louis Vuitton bag. Law enforcement later identified DeRosa publicly by his Instagram, Dream Monta, where DeRosa is depicted holding a Draco firearm like the one used Pooh Sheisty during the shooting. After recovering video surveillance, law enforcement responded to a Ventura hospital to speak to the victim and present them with still photos from the video surveillance. Victim 1 stated that he was certain that the person driving the green McLaren was rapper Pooh Sheisty. Victim 1 said he had several encounters with Pooh Sheisty, including when Victim 1 rented the green McLaren. Victim 1 explained that when when he was shot, the closest person to him was Pooh Sheisty road manager, Bobby Brown. Victim 1 didn't describe Brown as wearing a white t-shirt, which was corroborated by video surveillance. Law enforcement also presented Victim 1 with a photo of DeRosa, and Victim 1 identified DeRosa as the driver of the Mercedes Maybach and the person wearing the purple hoodie. Law enforcement then contacted Victim 2 while he was being treated at Adventure Hospital. Law enforcement also presented him with still photos in which he identified the same people.
On just one station, surveillance cameras showing a new view of a violent shootout in a parking lot of a South Florida apartment building. The barrage of bullets sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Broad daylight bullets, 2 hit, over $500,000 in exotic cars. All of it on surveillance video obtained exclusively by 7 News from October in ultra-quiet Bay Harbor Islands.
I got that night because I'm fine.
And it involves a recording artist, Pooh Sheisty, except unlike this clip, what happened here was no music video. The footage shows a McLaren sports car, Mercedes Maybach, and another Mercedes pull into this East Bay Harbor Drive condo parking lot. Men from the vehicles eventually get out and meet, and then this. The man in the white shirt has a pistol. The man in the black sweatshirt has a longer gun, and at about the same time, they begin firing before retreating back to the Maybach. The fancy getaway cars speed off, and one of 2 victims then hobbles to the car.
Skyforce 836.
The victims ended up at Aventura Hospital with injuries. But back to the scene for a moment. Police say the famous rapper was in that McLaren.
If I shoot my gun, 300 shots.
Police and prosecutors say Pooh Sheisty was part of the group that ended up in this parking lot that October afternoon where the shots flew, and it happened right across the street from the police department and town hall here in Bay Harbor Islands, and days before an arrest.
The town of Bay Harbor Islands says you're wanted for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
He's also charged with armed robbery. Bay Harbor Police names 1 other for aggravated battery in their affidavit, saying the 2 left the state in a private jet. Police also using these Instagram photos, showing Sheisty with an assault-style rifle and cash as part of their case. They say the shooting came as one of the victims tried selling high-end sneakers and marijuana.
Who, they got the right guy?
Sheldon Fox, 7 News.
On Sunday, May 30th, 2021, Pooh Sheisty performed as a rap artist at the King of Diamond Strip Club, located at 7020 Northwest 72nd Avenue in Miami, Florida. After his performance, Pooh Sheisty was paid an outstanding balance for his performance in cash, and a person from the crowd slapped his hand, causing Pooh Sheisty to drop the cash on the ground. Pooh Sheisty then retrieved a black semi-automatic pistol from his waistband and began waving it to prevent club patrons from taking his money. Upon seeing Pooh Sheisty with the firearm, the club security sought to remove him from the venue. Video surveillance captured Williams walking with the firearm in his hands. Williams then fired 1 shot, striking this club security guard in the ankle. Williams fled in a dark-colored vehicle, and because of that, he accepted a plea for 5 years, in which some say was a hell of a deal based on all the information that we just talked about, including 2 that could have been 2 murders. And in April of 2022, he accepted a plea, sentenced to 5 years and 3 months in prison. A part of his plea, he agreed to the firearm and drug charges, and the 3 other charges were dropped. October 2025, Pooh Sheisty will come home.
Memphis rapper Pooh Sheisty is no longer in federal custody, according to his attorney. Pooh Sheisty, whose real name is Lontrell Williams, was sentenced to 5 years and 3 months in prison in a Miami federal court back in April of 2022 after he pled guilty to gun and drug charges. His attorney, Bradford Cohen, says he was released yesterday after a combination of time served and good behavior. Cohen also says Pooh Sheisty is looking forward to getting back to the studio and making music again.
So fam, so we clear. Pooh Sheisty had to serve 6 months in a halfway house since his release in early October. He would have been out the halfway house on his first week of April of 2026. But as we all know now, that's up for debate. But when Pooh Sheisty first came home in October, everything seemed good. Gucci Mane walked him home with the post quoted, "Welcome home to the real one." My nigga Pooh Sheisty. The energy different now. Same hustle, new chapter. Sheisty back and free. The only way it's supposed to be. Real ones never fold. Time to shake the streets up. Walk proud of you. Hashtag 1017. Gucci Mane wife Keisha Kior had quoted, "Welcome home, Pooh. We missed you." He also had an Instagram post in which Pooh Sheisty had reposted, quoted, "Welcome home, Pooh Sheisty. The main slime is back." Not to mention, Pooh Sheisty liked the post that was on his Instagram page. Everything seemed normal as mentioned, but one thing was visibly clear. Gucci Mane was not seen with Pooh Shiesty, and some thought that was because he was on the halfway house, but that was his CEO. And then months later, Pooh Shiesty, at the top of 2026, had dropped FDO, First Day Out, a highly anticipated wait, and it was safe to say that he didn't let his fans down. The track was over 6 minutes long, straight bars with his mother giving a speech that, quite frankly, any kid would want to hear the encouragement give her son, coming from their mom.
There's too many people depending on his leadership skills out here for him to be gone. Come on, son, reclaim your...
Williams then fired one shot, striking this club security guard in the ankle. Williams fled in a dark-colored vehicle, and because of that, he accepted a plea for 5 years, in which some say was a hell of a deal based on all the information that we just talked about, including 2 that could have been 2 murders. And in April of 2022, he accepted a plea, sentenced to 5 years and 3 months in prison. A part of his plea, he agreed to the firearm and drug charges, and the 3 other charges were dropped. October of 2020. Dad pissed off when he was in Pampers for not playing his music, playing his, resulting in a local DJ being gunned down. Now, I don't know how King AK-47 got these details, but shout out